Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. My hormones make me in that case. Hope you're all doing well.
Welcome, welcome. Oh, I need a new intro.
Oh, me too. It's the same thing. But hey, at least we're predictable. People know what they're getting. So,
Consistent, consistent.
exactly. What we're going to talk about today is about tracking food. How to track food correctly to get you the results that you want. Expectations around weight loss, how much you should actually be losing, and just going a little bit more detail about the tracking and stuff and our own personal experiences with it, and yeah, just explore that in a little bit more depth as well.
Yeah. I think where we've both been like tracking more the last 6 weeks, because like I don't know if you've not listened to one of our podcasts, we've done like a 6 week cut. M joined in, and yeah, where we've been doing this more, it's highlighted. Like, don't get me wrong, I've done it in the past and I do use it as a tool, like I use it quite a bit, but like it's highlighted to me a few things that people don't do, and I which I thought would be something that you would automatically do when you're tracking your food. So,
Yeah,
for example, like I've noticed a lot of people, they're tracking their food, that's fine. And then I'm like, oh, you've literally just put on here like one banana or like a medium banana. I'm like, was that banana like, how do you know that was a medium banana? I know it might say on the tin, but like if you just track a medium banana every time, that medium banana could be 22 grams, it could then be 50 grams, it could be 75 grams. Like the calories change in the amount of that banana, but you've just logged medium all the time. So you don't know if you're still eating over your calories or not.
absolutely. It's yeah, because like you say, eat apple, an orange, a banana, a kiwi, a pear, whatever it is, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Like if you're just searching for potato and just logging whatever it comes, one medium potato, but you've had three times the amount of that, then your calories are going to be completely off what you're tracking, what you're actually having, which therefore can then affect your results. You think you're doing something, but actually you're doing something different. So it
Mm,
has, it seems so small, maybe to people, but it's literally could be the difference between you getting the results that you want and keeping and you being kept stuck where you are now.
yeah. Yeah, like I know when like what since we've been tracking, like there's been times where I've like done a jacket potato and I've had to have half the jacket potato because I didn't have enough calories for it for the day. I'm like, oh shit, that one way. And then I'm weighing all the potatoes because I'm like, shit, I need the smallest one. Which one's the smallest one? Like,
Yeah,
so I don't look like a muppet having half a potato. But like I had to do it if I wanted to get the results that I wanted. Like that was the way it was gonna be. Like, and that's the same thing, isn't it? Like I know like sometimes people are like, oh, well, what's the point in like tracking salads? And I get it. Like lettuce can be like 7 calories for say 50 grams. That's not what it is, but off the top of my head, something like that. But when your whole food diary is made up of salad, like most of my food diary is made up of salads and stuff, like I'm still hitting my calorie target by adding in like the lettuce, the tomatoes, the carrots, the sweet corn, all of that stuff. It adds up. Like I heard a podcast once where they were like, I know it sounds pernickety being like every if you just have one strawberry, log it. But it's the principle behind logging that one strawberry because it could be like you have you eat an extra strawberry with that. You have an extra spoonful of yogurt, but you don't log it. You then have an extra thingy of this and you don't log that. That
yeah,
ends up being like 200 odd calories extra a day that you don't think you're doing because it's not that many calories.
yeah, that's it, exactly. Because, like you say, if you're not logging that one extra strawberry, then you're probably not logging a lot of extra stuff as well. So it completely, from a psychological point of view, makes complete sense. Like you either log it all or you don't log anything. There's no point
Mm,
just doing, yeah, part of it. Because, like you say, if you are having lots of salad, lots of vegetables with your lunches and your dinners, like they can all add up. Yes, they are low in calories, but it can still bring you up to potentially keep you at maintenance. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, really important.
Yeah, especially if you're just logging the main things like pasta, chicken, whatever, you might have, say, your allowance might be like 1,600. You might have had 1,600 in those things, and then you've added like vegetables and that on top. And like you say, that could then take you up to maintenance, like depending on how many calories you're on.
Yeah,
So it's things like that. And then things like also log at milk. A lot of people don't log the milk that they have in their tea. And if you're drinking like 10 cups of tea, that could be a substantial amount of milk.
yeah,
Again, if you're going out and having coffee, so like when I make my coffee at home, I literally just log the milk because like I have a syrup that has no calories in it, and like black coffee, the one that I've got has nothing in it. Like,
yeah.
so I literally just log the milk. But when I go out for a coffee, I literally just find like I normally have a caramel oat latte. So I'll just look for like Costa's medium caramel oat latte and I'll log that, and that's like
Yeah.
200 calories. So your calorie difference between, I think, mm, let me just double check, but norm like, so I know that's like 196 calories, say, for a coffee going out, roughly. Could be more than that, depending. Um, but my coffee that I make at home is 72 calories.
Yeah, such a big difference. And I was the same because I think I was buying actually just standard oat milk or soya milk with the sugars in it because it tastes nicer from like Aldi or whatever. And then I realized when we were tracking, I realized, excuse me, I'm losing my voice there. I realized that the calories was quite high. So I was like, well, an easy swap for that is just to change it for the no sugar one. But then I found like a low, I don't like, my body doesn't really tolerate sweetness and stuff, no sugar stuff. It really makes it upset. So I found like a really low sugar little syrup thing, which is like, I think it's 15 calories for a teaspoon. So I was like, actually having the soya milk with no added sugar and a little bit of that in it with my coffee is way loads or way less calories than just having the milk with the sugar in. So it's like little
Mm.
adjustments like that. But until I'd logged that, I didn't really have a clue of how many calories was in that. I was just eating it every day. And then I was like, whoa, that's actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I think, sorry,
No, 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 Karen.
I think as humans, we all do it, underestimate how much we're eating and how many calories are in things.
Yeah.
Like literally everyone, even
Uh-huh.
myself, I literally just said that out loud. Like we all think, well, I don't actually eat that much. Oh, I don't really put that many calories. I don't really know why I'm not losing weight because I eat really well. The amount of times that I've heard that from clients, over the years, I'd be a millionaire if I got like a pound every time I heard that. It is like, well, you're underestimating it, as we all do. It's not a fault. It's just as humans we do it because we just look at the food and think, yeah, there's not that much in there. Until you
Yeah.
start actually tracking it, then you'll go, oh, there's way more calories in these things that I'm eating than I thought.
Definitely. And I think sometimes you play mind games with yourself, don't you? Like I know I've done it before. I look at something and I'm like, "Ah, that's not that many calories because I want to eat it. So I'll just
Yeah,
trick myself into thinking that's not that many calories because now I can eat it. But then when you actually track it, you're like, ah, damn, like that's a lot more like, yes, there's thought that goes into it, but it's normally a lot more than you think. So like tracking's not a thing to do forever. Like you can go in and out of doing it, but it does make you so much more mindful. Like I don't even know like I'd probably take a guess at like I was hitting like 2,500 odd calories before doing the 6 week thing, just because I was training more. Like I was eating things like cornflakes and, yogurt and putting loads of stuff on it, like peanut butter and things, so I could run around a football field. And don't get me wrong, I would have needed like the extra calories, but I feel so much better without the extra calories at the moment. So there is like, yeah, until you like actually log stuff, like I'm not eating half the amount of what I was eating, I don't think. Like in terms of me going to the kitchen making stuff, some stuff is pretty similar. Like today, my scrambled eggs and stuff, that's what I would normally have. But there's other things I would go back a couple of times because I'd be like, oh, I'm really hungry. Well, probably wasn't hungry to be fair. Whereas now I've like log it, I'm like, I don't actually need anything else because for me, looking at those numbers, I go, oh, I've eaten today. I seem to have this thing where I forget. I mean, I think a lot of people do, but I feel like if I don't write stuff down, like what I've done workout wise, if what I've done food wise and stuff, I think most of the time I'm like, oh, I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
So
interesting.
until I see it out in front of me, I go, I have done stuff. Like I've done that strength workout, I've done that run, I've done this walk, I've done that, and I've logged my food, I've eaten that amount of food. Like, but I will, yeah. It's like I just think, oh, I need to keep going because I've not done anything. But actually, when you see it out on paper, I'm like, no, you have done stuff.
So in the food sense, you would that would be the same as well. You wouldn't think that you forget things you'd have or not acknowledge that you'd have it, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I think sometimes, absolutely. Like, oh, I've forgotten, like, I don't know, I might have eaten a chocolate bar or someone gave me a chocolate bar earlier on and I might have just been eating it whilst doing something or whatever. Um, but in terms of like, I don't know, like, unless I feel really, really stuffed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I used to make myself eat until I felt I went for a period of making myself eat loads because I'm like, I'm not full. Like, I'm just going to keep eating until I'm full. And then I was like, this is not okay. You need to stop doing this. But like every weekend it would get to it and I'd be like, I just want to eat so much. Like, and
Mm,
then, yeah. And until I was full, then I'd be like, oh, uncomfortably full. Then I'm like, oh, I've eaten enough today. Whereas like other days when I wasn't like that, I'd be like, oh, what more can I eat? I don't know.
so that would just be on weekends or on all days.
I think mainly weekends when like, or like when people are out because then I can eat. It's like secret eating, and I definitely used to
Where
do
do
that a lot. I don't do it
you
anymore.
don't do that anymore? Where do you think that came from?
Don't know.
Sorry, I'm like counselling you now.
It is. Look at that as a podcast. I don't
No, it's just
know.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd have to really think about it, to be fair. Maybe just, I don't know, maybe being in the fitness industry, like, and having to be like this, oh, look, you do this certain way. Like, I wouldn't, no, my mum and dad will never judge me. Like, if I get a takeaway, I get a takeaway. They don't care, but I cared what they thought. So, like, I'd just wait until they go out and then I get takeaways,
interesting. It's
unless I was
interesting
having them
to
with them.
yeah.
Hmm?
So you would worry about what they would think of you having that takeaway potentially.
Yeah, I think so. Like you should, because like how many comments do you get? Like, oh, like I get it all the time. Oh, you shouldn't be eating that. You're a PT. Oh, you shouldn't be eating that. You're a PT. Oh, like I had it once when I was dating this guy and I went out to see his family, and like I didn't put, I don't know, Caesar salad sauce on my salad with my lasagna because I didn't really like it. Like, and they're like, oh, you're not having that because you're like a PT and you don't eat fats or you don't eat this and you don't eat that. And I'm like, oh my God, like, yes, I eat what I want, but I just don't like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, it is interesting. I'm sure loads of people can relate to that as well in the sense of like secret eating, doing things behind closed doors when no one's there. Like, I think that's probably a common thing to, I suppose, remove that fear of judgment from others
Hmm.
potentially. Not that other people are potentially judging me, but yeah, I don't think I've experienced like the secret eating. I definitely have the fullness thing for sure. Um, there's just something uncomfortable but comfortable about feeling full. That's
Mm.
like real fullness. It's like really satisfying, but also you're like it also feels uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, yeah,
both ends of the spectrum.
absolutely. Like before you're doing it, you're like, this is great. Oh my God, I feel so, yeah. And you're getting full and you're like, yes, I've really enjoyed this. I feel so full. And then afterwards, I'm like, what the hell have I just done? Like, I
Yeah,
now feel uncomfortable, horrible. Then the next day, I'm like, oh, I still feel sluggish and blah. Whereas, like, when I don't do that, when I'm like, feel like I'm on my game and like eating well and not, and eating like diverse foods and like having chocolate every day or having bits that I want, I don't feel the need to then binge like that and then I don't feel horrific.
yeah, yeah. Interesting, isn't it? So what to say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
why
did
do you,
you?
oh, carry on.
No, you go.
No, that's all right. Mhm.
No, I was just going to say, how did you feel being on the lower calories? Like, did you feel more energized day to day, or like, how did it affect you in any particular way eating that amount of calories, reducing the amount
What
of calories during
reducing
the
it,
cut?
like the first week I was so hungry. But after I got over that, after like 2 or 3 days in, I was like, okay, we got this. And then I only noticed the days that I felt really hungry would be like, say, like a Wednesday. And that's because on Tuesday I played football in the evening. So Wednesday I would then be hungry.
Yeah,
But I think for me, like psychologically seeing numbers on a thing, being like, ah, I've had that many calories, like almost stops me from being hungry because I'm like, oh, you don't need it anymore. Like you've eaten enough. Like I don't know how, like I don't know why it does that, but it makes me really go, oh no, I don't actually need that. Like, yeah. I don't know, like yeah, I struggled to start with the first week, but then after that, I think it was all right. And actually, the thought of going back up to eating that many, like I've got to do it in bits because my mind is still on this, like I need to stay at like 1,800, like But also, sometimes I don't feel like I need to go up to like I've said to myself, I can go up to 2,200, but I don't feel like I need to, like because I'm
yeah.
actually not hungry.
So I had such a different experience, and it's interesting what you said there about seeing the numbers and actually having that impact. Because I saw something or read something or listened to something the other day. They did a study where they gave two groups the same amount of calories, but one of the groups actually had half of the amount of calories than the other group. So they were both told they were given 600 calories for breakfast, right? The group, uh, both groups actually felt full and satisfied. I can't remember the exact study, that I'm really butchering it, but it's something along the lines of if they were told they were given 600 calories rather than 300, even if they were given 300 calories, they felt more full and satisfied. Whereas if you were told you were given half the amount of calories, even if they were given 600 calories, then they
Yeah.
felt really full still. So it was like a psychological thing of actually didn't matter how many calories was technically in it, it was what they saw. But it was almost a reverse of what you were saying, because if it was a low amount of calories, does that make sense? I completely confused everyone now.
No, the study makes sense. And then yeah, because then if I see that I've eaten that like that many calories, then it stops me. So psychologically, yeah. And to be fair, like I do it with containers of stuff. So like if I'm batch cook something, like yesterday I batch cooked something and I was logging it and I was like, oh, like okay, that's sorted. Split it into four, but actually the containers that I have are a lot smaller than a bowl,
Yeah,
so I could split it. And I actually think there's less calories in how I've split it. Like, because I got an extra portion out of it because the things are smaller, but I still feel full when I've eaten that because that's all that there is to eat.
yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's like a similar thing. It's like what you can see and what you plate up. Like, might be like, I think that's 500 calories because that's what I've logged it as, but actually it could be like 350. But because it looks like a full portion, I'm going to eat that and think it's a full
And
portion.
think it's full portions, and therefore you
Yeah,
feel like you're full. Yeah,
yeah, full.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting.
It's
Whereas,
fun, just
like,
funny how like your brain like plays tricks on you for different things like that, isn't it? I see a number and go, "Well, you don't
yeah,
need any more." Whereas like these people are getting like different calorie amounts, being told the same calorie amounts, and they might get different ones, but they're still acting the same.
yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whereas for me, I found it quite like, I didn't really feel too hungry the first week, but then something happened psychologically, and then I I don't know whether so it's really hard because the testing environment's like it was so hot, and like I said on the previous one, I'm not very good in the extreme heat.
Mm.
So by about 3 or 4 o'clock every single day, I would feel like my body was like lead. And in my head, I was going, is it because I'm eating less calories than what I usually would? So I kind of got into that cycle of being like every single day, I would just feel heavy, tired, lose motivation. I would also see on my ring that I was burning sometimes, I know it's not accurate 100%, but it would say 2,500 or 3,000 calories. So then I was going, well, is it because I'm now so far in a deficit? Like, if I'm in 1,000 calorie deficit, that's quite a lot. So, and now am I hugely under eating? How is that? Is that why I'm feeling so tired? And then I would have days on the weekend where maybe I'd eat a bit more and I wouldn't feel like that. But I'm like, is it just because I'm not stressed for work? Or is it because, but automatically in my head, I was going, because I'm eating way less than I usually am, I'm now feeling this way. So I kind of convinced myself that that was the reason. And since we haven't been doing this, I haven't felt like that. But then it's not been as hot here. I know it's still like 30, it's like 25, 26 here. So it's been cooler. So I feel like I've got more energy again. So it's really hard because it's like, is it a psychological thing? Who knows?
I feel like you need to do this like when it gets a bit cooler, just like for a couple of weeks, not like for 6 weeks. Just do it for a couple of
Yeah,
weeks, like I don't know, say beginning of like end of September or something, beginning of October. Do it then when it's not like horrific weather-wise, like because if it's raining and that just makes you feel like shit and all. But like do it somewhere there and just test it and just see, do I still feel like crap at like 3, 4 o'clock? Or was it because of the heat? Like it would be quite a good test to do.
yeah, definitely. And I also think I'm stressed because of Fred. I wasn't in my normal routine with getting out my long walk with Fred, which always affects me more mentally, things like that. So there's so many factors. So it's really hard to know whether that's a true, yeah, a true reflection of what was going on. But like you say, maybe doing it in the colder weather, there are like less stressful things going on. Would I then feel different? Who knows? But
Yeah, it is good to
yeah,
test. But also being in 1,000 calorie deficit is hard, and that's why you can't do it for a long time. Like you do it for like a short amount of time because it is you're gonna get to
yeah,
the point where you get to the end of it and you think, oh my God, I just want to eat, or I just want to like there'll be things that you might not have eaten that you could suddenly go, oh, I want to eat all of that, like it,
yeah,
it's a big deficit. And that's why like with like clients and stuff, I try not to I suppose this is going to come on to the next thing of um like expectations, but like I don't think you can really do a cart unless you've been like training for quite a while and learnt about food and things like that. I know like one of the girls who had in there, she struggles with her food, but I have been training her for like 5 years. But like cuts are difficult, and like you've got to expect maybe not to drop that much if you want to be in a good deficit. Say like you're gonna lose like less weight slower. So say being in like a 500 calorie or 300 calorie deficit rather than 1,000, because there's a chance that the 1,000 is going to lead you to like go off the rails a little bit because it's going to be too much,
yeah,
unless you're used to it or you've done it before or you've got good techniques of like to keep yourself like going. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas a lot of people, they'll go into that and then they'll just fall off track because it will just be too hard. And I did prep everyone before this saying like this is going to be hard. Like it's just not easy. A 6 week cut is not easy.
It's very true. Yeah, like with my clients, I would never suggest. I mean, and for some of them, if I was to recommend 1,000 calorie deficit, like it just wouldn't be because their movement levels, their height, all their age, everything. It just wouldn't be. It would not be recommended at all. And like you say, they would be able to stick to it for maybe a couple of days, and then their body would be like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Mm.
But yeah, I think especially down to like the jabs and stuff that are out at the moment, there is that expectation. Maybe it's down to that. Maybe it's always been that way, but years before the jabs, because definitely women I've worked with that actually most of them I work with have the expectation they're going to lose more. But
Hmm.
1 pound or half a kilo a week is like the recommended 1 to 2. But a pound a week is a really good amount to be losing in a sustainable way. And most people kind of think, unless they're losing 3, 4, 5, 6 pounds a week, that they're not like, what's the point? Like, and it's that expectation of that huge weight loss. I don't think people realize how much in a deficit and how hard it would be to actually lose that much. And also, it is not healthy for you to be losing that amount of weight. A lot of it's going to be water, some body fat. You're probably going to be starting to lose some muscle. You're losing huge amounts each week as well, which we know is not good. And that is literally happening with people on the jabs as well. And maybe some of that expectation, because people are losing loads of weight on the jabs, potentially, it's skewing people's minds a little bit in that sense as well.
Yeah, I massively think so. So I don't normally get on the scales, but I jumped on them before the beginning of 6 weeks and the end of the 6 weeks just to see, right? And obviously, if you're going to do it, like I would, if you're going to weigh yourself, you're probably better off weighing yourself every day so then you can take an average, right? However, I did it at the beginning, I did it at the end. I was 68 kilos at the beginning, and now I'm 69 kilos. Yay! It's gone up a kilo, but I look different. Like everyone's like, oh my God, like my clothes fits better, like my shape's changed, like so
Yeah, exactly. It's not all about that number on the scales. It really, really
no.
isn't.
I'm quick around a football pitch. Like everyone in the last 3 weeks has been like, my God, what are you on? And I'm like, I just feel lighter and better, but I don't actually, the number on the scales is not telling me I'm lighter.
Yeah, yeah,
So riddle me that one. Like for everyone else that thinks that you need to be lighter to feel better, like you do not. Like what would I rather do? See a number on the scales and be like, oh well, just done that 6 weeks, and what was the point? Like there's no point. When actually I'm running around, I'm quicker, my runs are quicker, I feel stronger, I feel better, I feel more energized. Like on what planet am I gonna then listen to that number on the scales and be like, well, what's the point?
absolutely. Yeah. And that's so good people to hear as well that actually your weight went up, because if you
Mm,
just said, oh, it's gone down, I don't know, 3 kilos, everyone would be like, oh, yeah. But actually, they're probably like, what? Like, you thought all those things and all of that, but actually, your weight's gone up. Like, so it's just proof that it's not all about that number on the scales. Like, that is not the most important thing. That doesn't mean if it has gone up or stayed the same that you haven't got results, because clearly
mm.
it's not the case.
Yeah. Exactly. And but it's so hard to get people to understand that. That's why half the people I
Yeah.
just say, please just get rid of your scales because they're not doing you any good. Like, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna see that number on the scale and then you're gonna go and binge eat because you're not happy with the number on the scales. Like, you're just forgetting all these other things that are making you feel good and all these things that you're now doing, running around after your kids, like being able to help people instead of sitting on the sofa, like you're rolling around playing on the floor and all these things. Like, why does a number have so much control over like all these great things that you're doing? Like it just blows my mind, and it's so hard to get people to that is the bigger thing, not the scales.
Yeah. It must be down to just diet culture for all these years. What we've been taught is, the number of scales is what matters. And it's just ingrained in us all, isn't it? I think that's the problem.
Yeah. Adverts on TV and a certain generation and all of that, seeing those kind of things. I don't know. It just, it's just annoying. Like one day, people are just not going to get on the scales. Like, and that will be great whenever that day comes. But I don't think that's anytime soon.
I, I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I did weigh myself at the beginning, but I actually haven't weighed myself since, so I couldn't tell you what happened. And I don't really
Be
care.
interesting.
Yeah, it would be
No.
interesting. I mean, maybe I have my period this week, so it's probably the best time to do it, but maybe at the beginning of next week I'll do it just out of
Mm.
interest. But
But then also, like you say, that affects it, doesn't it? And in the heat, being hotter, everything freaking expands. Like
exactly. Yeah,
you
yeah,
might be dehydrated. Most people are dehydrated right now, like because they struggle to drink anyway. And then when it gets hot, having to drink an extra load on top of that, it's just not what people are doing, is it? So you're probably going to be heavier anyway.
yeah. Yeah, that's it, exactly. But yeah, I think the expectation with the weight loss, like if I know we just said like we're kind of contradicting it there, but obviously there are people that need to lose body fat, and that number on the scales will come down, right? So
Mhm.
that is something that does need to happen potentially. And if that is the case, like you might be disappointed that you've only lost however much in however a period of time. But if you've had a loss and things are moving, like surely that is better than you staying the same and staying where you were. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you've lost a pound, don't then give up and go, oh, you lost a pound. What's the point? Because you've actually lost a pound. Like keep going,
yeah,
because then you'll lose another pound, and then you'll lose another one if you keep going.
exactly. Exactly. Whereas if you say to yourself, well, I only lost a pound, what's the point? I'll just go back to what I was doing before. Well, 6 months' time, you would have lost nothing or potentially gone up in weight. Or if you consistently lose a pound each week, or let's say £3 a month, what's that? 3 times 6, £180? Is that wrong?
Still
Obviously,
waiting, yeah.
depending on how much you need to lose, right? But you could have lost so much weight.
Yeah. Yeah, you just got to stick with it, and you've got to know that it will fluctuate. It will go up and
Yeah,
down. But if you're sticking, if you're being consistent with what you're doing, then you will get there. There's like no way on this planet you're not. And I suppose the next thing, like when it comes to tracking, is what do you do when you go out for meals or you go to someone else's house? And they're the next common things that come up, and that is difficult to navigate because not every
yeah,
restaurant has a menu. Um,
no.
it
I
does
know
have a
what you.
menu.
I just agreed with you then. I was like, yeah, have the
Doesn't have
calories. I know what you mean.
calories on the menu. And even if it does, I suppose it's like anything, isn't it? It's like tracking, and that isn't like full, it's not the exact number. But like, yeah, it might be a little bit out because you don't actually know how much olive oil the chefs put in there. Oh, that's another thing to talk about. Put in the pan, or you don't know how much they've actually, the amounts of things that they've cooked. It's just a guesstimation. But I suppose
Yeah,
like when we were doing this cut, like what I would do is if I knew I was going out the weekend, because I don't think there might have only been like one, maybe 2 weekends in the 6 weeks where I didn't go out for a meal. There was probably at least once a week somewhere that I went out for a meal. Um, but I would just like lower my calories slightly on the other days by like 50 to 100 calories, depending on if I knew where I was going, what I was kind of going to have, or I would just make sure, like, once I've then been out and had, say, if we went out at lunch, if I'd had something quite big, then I just wouldn't go and eat something in the evening because, like, if I've had like a full main meal, whereas sometimes before I would go out for a main meal and then by the evening I'm like, oh, now I'm gonna have something else when actually I didn't need it because I was still full.
yeah, yeah,
And I think like if you're going to someone's house and they're cooking for you, that's really difficult. You can't just say to them, well, can I just go and scan everything and log everything, like weigh it all out before you cook that? Like just don't log it. Like, but just be mindful when you're there. Like wait 10 minutes before you have a second plate full because you might not even need it. You might go, actually, I'm all right. Or like if it's like a
yeah,
barbecue, pick up like your protein, like your chicken and your salmon and stuff first. Put that on your plate, put some salad on that plate or some veggies, depending on what's out, and then have a small amount of like rice or whatever with it. Try and still follow the principles of carbs, proteins, and fats with your fruit and veggies in there, like rather than just picking like 10 sausages because sausages are high in calories, you know?
exactly. You can still use the plate model or use your hand as a portion guide for those meals, even if you're not tracking it. Or you can kind of guesstimate, like if you've been out at your friends, you know you've had a lasagna, find a lasagna on there. It's not going to be perfect. Or if you know your friends like, oh, I'm cooking you lasagna with garlic bread tonight, like maybe go on there, log that first before anything else you have in the day,
Hmm.
and find one that's a little bit higher in calories. Put in you're going to have a slice of garlic bread, and then you roughly know what you're going to have, and then you could, like you say, just adjust slightly your daily intake. Um,
Yeah.
like we went out for a curry, and I looked beforehand. I actually found like Indian takeaway on the app. And I was like, oh, this, and this. And it came up like 1,500 calories. And I was like, well, that's what it is. And but I logged that before, and that could be wrong. It could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less. I was more mindful, definitely. Like I didn't have 2 onion bhajis, and I maybe had one or little things like that. And then I just ate slightly smaller portions like in the day and made that work. So you can always do little things like that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think if there's something that you really like or you really want or you know you're going out or whatever, it's good to log that first before you log the rest of your day, because then you can work you the rest of your day around it. Like you just said, like I will always do that. If they're like, oh, I really fancy a 12 tonight, I don't know, I stick it in my food diary so I know I've got room for it.
Yeah.
And again, like things with like if you're having an Indian, if you're being particular, go for things that are less creamy. Like, you know, you can get like salmon tandoor, chicken tandoors and stuff like that. Things like that, being a bit more mindful. But yeah, you can also use things like ChatGPT, right? And then you can just type in there or take a picture of it and put it in there and it'll go, oh, I reckon it's about this many calories. And I did this the other day actually with something that I'd logged. I'd had like salmon salad and sweet potato, and I was like, I wonder what it comes up with calorie wise. And the calories that were actually in it were like 383 calories, and it come up saying it was between 500 and 600. So I mean, it overestimated, even like the lower end of it was overestimated, but I mean, it gives you a rough idea. Like if you're really stuck for things, like sometimes I would do that. I'm like, oh, tell me how much a Malibu lemonade is, because I don't know. And it would just come up with a guesstimate and I'd put that in. Again, things like your alcohol, that's going to up your calories as well. So it's being mindful of that on those days. If you are going out for drinks, like, is that going to add to your things? And it's not saying like you can't ever have any of this stuff. It's like if you want to hit a goal, then you might have to sacrifice something. You might have to be more mindful at something. Or if it's only once a week, like your 80/20 rule, your once a week is not going to be a detriment. Just don't expect like miracles in 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you know, it might just be a bit slower, but that's okay because you can still go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, one thing that would come up for me was like, we don't log that, no one's going to know. And it was interesting
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, I didn't expect that to crop up. And it cropped up a lot. And I was like, this is so fascinating. Like, I feel like I need to cheat myself. And if that happens to me, then I know it must happen to a lot of people because we're all the same in some ways. And there's probably been someone that's listening that has been on something and they've been saying they've been logging their calories when actually you've been missing things out and then not getting results and go, I don't know what's going on. Well, if you are missing things and you are doing that, the only person you're cheating is yourself. And that's what I would keep saying to myself is like, well, they may not know that, but I know that. So what am I gaining from this here? Like, just be honest about it because no one's judging. And actually, you might need to delve into other things around that. Like, well, why do you want to have that bit there? Or why are you having that? Or again, it's not a problem, but it's just like having a more in-depth conversation about what is going on day to day. So exploring that rather than hiding it and then pretending you're not having these things. Because I'm sure there's so many people that have left things out. Like,
Oh,
actually,
absolutely.
yeah. I was just going to say, like, I've worked with someone previously. What the words come about? Anyway, I've worked with someone, and I had said send photos of meals, and the snacks weren't sent because I didn't say snacks, to be fair. And then when I was like delving into, I was like, okay, so there are a lot of snacks, and they said, oh, you didn't say to send the snacks, and I was like, no, you are correct. Kind of thought that was implied, but so just you know, it's interesting. We all do it. We're all human, but
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I definitely did that on the last week a couple of times when I was tasting cakes, making cakes for my brother's 30th. Like I was trying different things. I'm like, do I have to eat it? Do I have to log this bit of cake? Like, and I'm like, oh, like, come on, like, no, you should, because again, you're only cheating yourself, right? Like, if I don't get the results, that's my fault because I've eaten that. And if I'm not going to acknowledge it again, why am I not acknowledging it? And like you just said, like where you've asked people before and they've sent you everything, but they didn't class snacks as food. It again blows my mind because it's food. Um, I'll say to someone, "Oh, like, what's your food been like recently?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, well, I've had this for dinner, this for dinner, this for dinner, this for dinner, this for dinner." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Are you only eating dinners or what are we doing? Like, have we had breakfast? Have we had lunch?" Well, yeah. I'm like, well, this counts as like food. And it's always the way people only ever mention their dinners unless I ask, okay, what's your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks been like?
It's so interesting though, isn't it? Because it's a form of shame, isn't it? Is that I can only think that if I was to put those things in my diary and say my calories, like sometimes I went over and I automatically felt a bit of shame because
Mm,
I was already eating more than you guys anyway, because I said that I would have, but that made me feel uncomfortable anyway, saying that I
mm,
was eating more, even though that was fine and I'd agreed that it, not that we'd agreed to have to ask permission, but I said I'm gonna be eating this and even that brought on that shame. So then if I went over, it was like it felt shameful. So I could only imagine maybe that's what other people feel, that guilt, feel that shame around that and their choices. And it's not about us as coaches, it's just about their perception of it.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it can when you feel like you've gone over because you feel like you failed or whatever. Like, yeah, because I said to you that this is the calories that I'm putting in. Because the other two girls struggle to eat. Like, so if I put it at like 2,000, they're like, wow, this is gonna be crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, and we weren't even like questioning what you were necessarily eating. Like, if you put 2,000 calories and you put it in, no one said, oh, like, why have you had 2,000 calories today?
No,
Like, there was none of that, right?
no.
Because I wasn't looking at your food diary. Like, you do you. Like, you know what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing. Like, do you know what I mean? In a nice way.
Yeah.
Um, and you still felt like that. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How that works. Yeah, and I suppose like just doing a food diary is quite vulnerable, isn't it? Being quite vulnerable because you're opening up to all the things that you're doing, or like you say, finding patterns of why you're not doing something, like, and then bringing up other things, like the amount of times that I found something and I'm like, oh, is this always happens when your husband goes away, or this happens? Why is that? And it'll be like, oh, yeah, because I've been lonely, so I'll just sit and eat, or and then uncovering those things is then hard. And then to try and like help people then get through, okay, well, what are you going to do to combat that? Because if they go away quite a lot, like how do we manage that?
I think that's the thing with it. It's like it's not a tracking your calories is a tool to use to lose weight. But essentially, there is so much more around food than the numbers because food a lot of the time is an emotional or a psychological thing. And when we're eating food, it's not necessarily because we're hungry, there's emotions. Like a lot of it is an emotion, there is an emotional driver behind it. So, and that's why it's so hard for people to lose weight because it's not just eat your calories, eat less calories, and then you'll lose weight. Because that's not how it works because there's so much emotional shit that happens around that. Like if that if because everyone knows you have to be in a calorie deficit. Well, most people know you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. So, but it's obviously not that easy because so many people struggle with it because there's so
Mm,
much else going on. So I know we're talking about tracking food and losing it, but I just want to say that it's not just that easy for everyone to go and do that basically.
no, it's not. It's hard. It is hard, really hard. And to even to remember to do it when you aren't used to doing it, the amount of times I bloody plugged my phone in to charge in my bedroom, I'd walk all the way to the kitchen and be like, oh, I need that.
Yeah.
Like, and then I would think, oh yeah, well, I'll remember the numbers on the scales. That's fine. And I did that like once and went, oh, I don't remember what the first thing was. Like, like that. What was it? 100 grams or what? Like, and then I'm like, no, I can't do that. because I will forget. So again, if you're tracking it, don't do that. At least have a pen and paper nearby so you can write it down if your phone's not near you. Like,
Yeah.
but that's why I found like pre-logging it easier as well, just so I could see what was coming up the next day, so I don't have to think on that spot on that day. Like, because then sometimes it's like, what can I put together? This is annoying. But yeah, it is generally hard. Like, it takes a while until you start like realizing, oh, actually, I probably eat the same. Like, I eat the same thing for breakfast, so just copy and paste it. Okay, cool, that's fine. Might adjust a few things,
Yeah.
like whatever fruits on it. But I think you also need to double check sometimes the metrics of stuff, like because sometimes things say like, oh, kiwi, but it will have like no protein, no carbs, no fat, whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, that was pointless because then you're not seeing all the amounts. Yes, the kiwis looked, but it's not actually giving you anything that's in it. So you do have to be careful of that on like tracking apps. Um, they might not be the same as like the packet says. So
Yeah.
it is worth checking. But yeah, essentially, food tracking is hard, like you say, because there's so many different layers to it. Like people say they get obsessed with it and then they can't, like they won't track and stuff. Like this isn't something you use forever. It's something you come in and out of doing. Like you say, use it as a tool. So you might do it for a couple of weeks just to see where you're at. And then once you know where you're at, if you're eating similar things, you should be okay for a bit. And then if you introduce something new or want to know what something else is, okay, you might use it again for a couple of weeks and then you might stop again. Like it's not a forever thing. Like you don't want to be obsessed with it and hung up on it. Um, and if you are, there's other ways of doing it, like say hand portions and things like that, portion controlling it that way. But um, I do think it is a good tool to use so you are way more mindful and you understand what you're doing to find out these patterns of things that you're doing rather than just shrugging it off completely. But that's just
Yeah.
my opinion.
No, no, I agree. I agree. And I think, I suppose it depends on your personality on what. There, if you're someone that is prone to, I don't know, getting obsessed with it, and maybe that's not tracking calories is not for you. And if you find, because I did find it a little bit obsessive, and I was like, oh, I definitely could not do this forever long term. Um, so I was like, actually, it's quite nice now to have a little bit of a break from it for me personally. But I did find it useful for sure to see the different calories and stuff, and I have adjusted things now. So yeah, I know, I agree. I think for awareness and to see where you're at and to see how you can tweak things is definitely a useful tool. But just see it as like it's just a tool for a period of time, and you can use it and dabble with it in and out as you go.
Yeah, because I think like when you start learning stuff, like I have those pancakes every day. I've said it on here a million times. But like when I'm not tracking, I still put the bowl on the scales and I'll weigh out all the ingredients because I know them off the top of my head. Like I do it that much that I'd just be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, cool." So I know I've already started my day on about 500 calories.
Yeah,
Like I might not do the rest of it, like weigh anything else that day, but I know that my breakfast is sorted then because obviously if I'm making pancakes that are just of guesswork, they're probably going to turn out shit. So it's just easier, that's that kind of thing. And again, I would do the same with like porridge oats because I know like if I use 50 grams of porridge oats and then have so much kefir in it and this and this and this, it's going to be like that without even looking at. So,
yeah,
and that's only because I do it a lot. Like if you don't do it a lot, then you'd have to guesstimate. But yeah, I just find that I would just keep up with like weighing those things because I know what's in it then. Even if I didn't do the rest of the day.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And I know, I was having like half 400-gram pot of Greek yogurt. So that was the calories, and that's what I'm just having. And actually, when I was like weighing out my seeds, I was kind of roughly doing that. And now I'm like, okay, that's about the same now. So rather than like doing 2 tablespoons or something, I'm like, actually, I just need to put that in there. So it's like you remember little bits from it. And sometimes when
Absolutely.
you're making, sorry,
No.
recipes,
Yeah.
it's you need to have the ingredients, and you're gonna know how many calories are in it anyway because you might have the recipe that tells you and stuff. So you might use it in that sense as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And things like HelloFresh Gusto and all of that are quite good for that. Yes, they're not going to be bang on because, like, again, you don't know what chicken they've used or what they're all different things, but it'll give you a good Yes, so if you already know what your breakfast weighs out, like, and you've done that off the top of your head, and then you get Gusto or HelloFresh or whatever it is for the evening, you know that's like 700 calories. All you got to do is your lunch.
Yeah,
And that probably won't be that difficult because it's probably something you've had on rotation before when you've tracked food anyway. So,
yeah,
it doesn't, it can make your life easier once you know what's in and stuff. And like you say, I always do that with cheese. Like I know how much 10 grams of cheese is, just doing this, picking it up and dropping it. Like I know that is about 10 grams of cheese because the amount of times I've done that and gone, oh yeah, that's 10 grams. Cool, fantastic. Again, like you
yeah,
say with the seeds, pick up, okay, I know that's 3 grams if I do that. Like there are things that you just know when you've done them so much.
yeah, definitely. I think one other thing actually that I've noticed a lot is the clients I've worked with have almost seen the target as like trying to get under as much as possible. Oh, I only had 800 out of my 1300 or 1,000 out of my 1700 or whatever. And it's like a big thing. It's like, yes, it's great. Like, try and get as far under as possible. And I'm like,
No.
no, no, no. No, we don't want to be aiming for as low as possible. That's not the goal here. The goal here
No.
is to hit the calories that we've set. Yes, if you're 50 calories under, that's fine. But not 2, 3, 4, 500 calories under. That's not the goal here.
No. Oh my gosh. You're not going to be moving as much. You're not going to be able to do as much. Oh no, no, that's ridiculous. Don't have that as your goal. Absolutely not. No, thank you.
No, 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 no. Like there, you'll set a number for a particular reason. It's not the aim is not to like just get wherever underneath that. Like you want to aim to get to that number as much as possible
Mm,
because you need a certain amount of calories to just make sure that you can survive and your organs are working and you can move and you can breathe and you can do all those things. And if you're so far under, like you said, like you're not going to have energy to want to do anything. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to feel tired. You're going to feel like rubbish effectively. So,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
then
you'll
everything's
fidget
going to feel
less.
harder. Yeah,
Yeah, you'll fidget less as well. So like in the day, you just naturally won't burn as many calories because you're not going to be like moving your hands and doing stuff. You'll do anything you can just to stay still. Like, and you don't want that. Like, absolutely not. Um, yeah, I think when you're looking at your food, like don't make it complicated. Don't get hung up on all your macros. Like don't think, oh, I need to hit my target for my carbs and hit my target for my fats. Like just
yes,
look at your calories and your protein. Like they're the most important ones. Um, Once you've got the hang of that, later on down the line, if you really want to, yeah, look at the other ones. But I never look at stuff like that. I just stick to proteins and calories, making sure that they're in on point. Like, don't worry about like being like, oh, I can't have any carbs or I can't have this. I need to get this. No, 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 no. Just let's not do that. Like, because that just makes life too complicated. We're not athletes at the end of the day. If you're an athlete, it might be different because you need different energy for different things, but you're not. So let's yeah, I used to do that when I first started tracking or I didn't know what I was doing. And they were like, oh, these are your targets. And I'd have to hit every one to the exact gram. And then I'd get really annoyed when I didn't hit exact grams.
gosh, that's so stressful.
Like, it was so stressful. Like, whereas now, I can't even remember last time I looked at the carbs and the fats on my thing. I just was like, okay, have I hit my protein? Yeah, cool, banging.
The thing is, I was literally saying this in my group the other day. I'm like, you could just eat carbohydrates in a calorie deficit and lose weight. So it really, yes, we want to get enough protein and fats and carbs stuff, but essentially, you don't need to worry about too much about the grams of carbs and fats and stuff. Like, because you could just eat fats and lose weight. But like, you don't want to do that because you need everything else to have that balance. But yeah, you just yeah, that's you're making it far too stressful doing that kind of stuff. Protein,
Yeah, absolutely.
calories,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, your body needs the protein to help build muscle, help you function properly. Like your whole body is basically made of protein. Like your DNA and all that's made of protein. If you're not replenishing that, then like you're a bit screwed, really. Um, but yeah, nah, I haven't got time to make that overcomplicated. But you don't need to. And we're like results of that. Like I've done it so many times that I know I can get results if I just look at my calories and protein. Like one of my clients was like, "Oh, I need to get my carbs down. I need to get my carbs down." I'm like, "You don't need to get your carbs down. There's nothing wrong with your carbs. Like, stop. Why are you telling me that you need to get your carbs down? For what reason are we doing this?" She's like, "Oh, I've spoken to my other half and I've explained why I can't." I'm like, "But why can't you have carbs?" Like, explain to me why what you're doing and why you're doing it. I'm like, because I'm just asking you to drop your calories down because you're short. Like, you need to drop your calories way down. Like, you should not be eating more than me. Like,
Yeah,
like you're shorter than me and you don't run around as much as me, yet you're eating way more than me. Like, this is not how it works. Like, you're not like, and she's not massive either. Like, she's slight as it is. I'm like, you don't need this much. Like, yes, if you start running around and that, yeah, absolutely, I come and have some more. But if your goal is weight loss, you need to look at your calories, not just trying to keep your protein high. And I think that's what they were doing is they were trying to keep their protein high, but obviously their calories were going up because they're trying to hit like some ridiculous target on the protein, which they probably don't need because it's too high.
yeah,
Like, you know, and I was like, no, no. And then they're like, oh, right, okay. And then they understood why they need to look at their calories rather than that. So just, yeah, calories and protein. Don't worry about the rest of it.
yeah, absolutely. Well, you've got anything else to say today?
Just check for like I said earlier, like things like oils and that you need to be careful of when you're tracking as well,
Yes.
because that's a massive thing. I always find like if you put like your olive oil in like a spray bottle or stuff like that, you're less likely to use as much because like a drizzle, whereas a couple of sprays or a few sprays, like yes, have olive oil, like that's absolutely fine because olive oil is good for you. Like you don't necessarily have to have like fry light and stuff like that, but like just put it in something where you're not gonna overdo it. Overdo it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Olive oil, sauces, condiments, not the right word,
Yeah. Yeah.
dips.
Condiments. 100%. Because I think like a lot of people when like they send their food pictures, there's always a big splodge of sauce or something. And fine, I have mayo, I have salad cream, I have barbecue sauce, all of that hoisin, but you do not realize how many calories is in such a small amount. And most of the time I'll have about 10 grams of these things because anything more than that, like it's a lot of calories that I don't need.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Pasta sauces, anything, just track those as well because yeah, you'll be surprised how much that could affect it. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I said last week, looking at the backs of things like, like your Greek yogurts, there might be three different Greek yogurts, but one Greek yogurt might have 132 calories for 100 grams, and another Greek yogurt could have 50 calories for 100 grams. So look on the backs just to double check because you could get more, you could eat more for less calories if you just check the backs of some of the packets.
absolutely. Yeah. And if you're unsure, like and you are one of our clients, you can always message us and ask us. Or if you're just listening to this, you can email us and ask us questions if you want to as well. Like we're happy to help with these things because it is confusing when you don't know what you're doing. This is all new to you. It's so complicated. So it's not once you get used to it, but it can feel like that to begin with. So it's best to kind of get a little bit of help with it, and then you'll start to understand it all as time goes on.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said forever ago, I never knew what a calorie was. Some PT put me on this, and I was like, "What do I eat? I don't know what to eat. Like, I don't know what I'm doing." Like, they didn't really help. But the thing is, essentially, you can eat what you want within moderation. So just make sure you're balancing it out. And like you say, if you don't know what it means, then just ask. Ask the question. Like one of my
Yeah,
clients earlier, actually, it's not to do with nutrition. But she was like, oh, I was, because she doesn't get a workout program from me or whatever. But anyway, she was like, oh, I was just looking online to see what kind of workouts I could do in the gym. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you went online to ask online rather than just asking your PT. Like, she was like, yeah. I was like, you're a muppet. Just bloody ask me next time. Like, I'll help you. It's fine. Like, but don't go searching on the internet for cool exercises when all you need to do is this, and this. Like, bloody hell. Ask. We're happy to help.
absolutely. And so many things that I hear women say as well to me is like, there's so much information out there. I just don't know where to start. I don't know what to follow, and it's like, get it, because there's so much crazy stuff out there. So literally, ask, ask
Ask.
someone that's reputable. Ask me or you. Like, just yeah. Don't listen to all that crazy stuff out there on the internet. There's going to be some good stuff on there. I'm not saying that, but it's hard to find that those golden nuggets between everything else that's on there. And on Instagram and TikTok, people are using crazy hooks to reel people in. So it's like they might actually have a good message, but then the message to begin with might be contradictory, and it's just all confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's why I don't watch anything like that as much as I possibly can because yeah, even I get confused every time. I'm like, am I being silly? And I'm like, no, come on, like you've been doing this for years. This works. Like, stop. Don't even listen to someone's shit like that. You know,
Yeah,
like just yeah, ask someone that you know that's qualified. If they're an
yeah,
influencer, they probably aren't qualified.
no,
They
no,
just have a large audience and can get dollar
exactly.
like that because they have a large audience of people that will follow them just because they say, ooh, jump up and down for 10 times a day or whatever. Like some shit like that. Like
Yeah,
find someone qualified.
yeah, exactly. Awesome. Well, I suppose we'll wrap up there for today.
Absolutely.
Hope you all found that helpful. If you do have any questions, you can email us at fitgirlswhoeat93@gmail.com. Post us on socials, wherever. We're always happy to help. And if you have any suggestions that you want us to talk about, please let us know. Otherwise, you'll catch us in the next one.
And if you watch us on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and rate. I don't know.
Yes.
Is that what you say? Are they the three things? Yeah, I
And give
know.
us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple, wherever you listen to us on.
Yes, we would massively appreciate it.
100%. Because we love doing these and we just want to help people. So that's some of our main goals. So if you find them helpful, then please share. Because, yeah, we're helping more people.
Yeah, yeah, 100% share them. Oh my gosh. Like, and the more you share them, the more we'll do. You get us talking in your ears every week, and we're getting close to 100. I think we're on episode 78, something like that.
Really
75,
cool.
76. I don't know, somewhere around there. I don't really know how we're still talking, to be honest. But yeah, how we're
Yeah.
finding things to talk about. But we'll keep going.
I was listening to a podcast earlier and they were literally saying about how little or small amount of podcasts actually make it. And if you're still going and get above a certain amount of podcasts, like go you. So go us.
Go us, come on, just rate, do all of that stuff, make our podcast,
Exactly.
yeah, somewhere, put us somewhere. I don't know how it works. Just here to talk.
That's it. All right. See you later, guys. Bye.
Ciao.